Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for race 2 in the S.R.O.C Formula Renault 2.0 Sprint Series. It's gonna be Dominic Hogendijk starting from pole after his very short race in race 1 with Craig Hobson in P2. We wait the drivers to grid up and to finally get the show underway. It's Van Eekhoven in third place with Salo in fourth. We await the lights and it's just a matter of seconds. Off you go. It's Dominic Hogendijk with a good start. Craig Hobson as well. Frederik Van Eekhoven looks very good as well. Promising going into turn 1. Here we go. It's Dominic Hogendijk passing in first. Here we go. It's Salo and Eekhoven side by side in third and fourth. Followed by Daimis Tigelaar and Kenzie Nuaf with 3 drivers right behind him. Solima. I see Wellinga with his red livery. And let's see who will make it up the hill here, down in the descent first. There we go, looking good for everyone. Daniel Solo on the inside of Frederik Van Eekhoven here in the right-hander. Coming up, and it's third place for Daniel Solo. Very well done there. Van Eekhoven in fourth. Nuaf has made short work of Daimis Tigelaar, while we see in the back Solima struggling, keeping up with Wellinga. It's Simon Frederik right behind, and we have a crash. Daniel Solo driving into Dominic Hogendijk. Craig Hobson tries to get around. It's Nuaf getting around Van Eekhoven. Everybody's crashing there. Have to wait there until Dominic Hogendijk gets cleared together with Craig Hobson. It's very unfortunate for Dominic Van Hogendijk having 2 crashes in 2 races here at Bathurst. This time it's sunrise here around Bathurst, so the drivers can't see the road for once. Let's see what will happen right here. We can see a lot of drivers here turning up on the top of the mountain. It's Nuaf now in second, following Alex Junsen in first place. It's Van Eekhoven very close behind Nuaf there, trying to get around the young Dutchman. And there we go. It's gonna be a very short race here if they don't watch out here and hit the wall in the descent. But they're doing very well. It's not that much of a problem at the moment. Let's see where all the others are at the moment. We can see Daimis Tigelaar, followed by Solo. Frederik is trying to get around Wellinga. Let's see if he can succeed. It's Solo with a broken front wing there, by the way, so he'll have a lot of trouble keeping up the pace with the others. And it's Frederik trying on the inside here in the right little bend here, following into the chicane here, side by side. It's Frederik with a little bit leading and braking, but Wellinga is still there. Wow, it's Simon Frederik losing his car, and Wellinga isn't able to dodge him. Solima and Hobson get around safely. That's very fortunate for them. Let's see if Craig Hobson decides to get in the pits. No, he does continue on right behind Solima here. Let's see if the 2 drivers can make it a show here. Craig Hobson is shown to be a lot quicker in the Formula Renaults than Solima is. And we see Solo heading into the pits. Hogendijk is already in the pits being towed. And we'll have to wait and see if he will be able to get out. Even Frederik is into the pits. Must have been because of that hit with Wellinga. Very unfortunate at the moment. And I think Hobson can't keep up with Solima at the moment. Differences are getting big. There's Tigelaar, Alt Tigelaar this time in P9. Jonas Gilles. Let's see if he has damage on his car. No, he doesn't. Has gotten around all the crashes again safely. That's good for him. Well, Daimis Tigelaar is doing well here. Also has dodged all the oddities in the battle upstairs. And Jensen is also looking good this time. Has his rear wing still intact. Not that he needs it anyway. But he's doing well for himself. Has dodged that miraculous crash there by Hogendijk and Hobson. And Hogendijk will have a short weekend here. A short Thursday, I should say, in this Formula Renault Sprint Series. Presented by S.R.O.C. Just barely a handful of drivers that finished race 1. Bathurst seemed to be very challenging in the first race. Maybe this will be a little less. Oh, and it's Solo with a big crash on top of the mountain. We just barely saw him there hitting the wall. That's probably going to be race over for him. And I see even Alt Tigelaar this time with a lot of damage. And even Jonas Gilles is damaged. That's very weird at the moment. There's a lot of happening. So we'll have a lot of crash outs again. Just when I say that the race done in the darkness was difficult, this one promises to be even more difficult. Probably because of the false sense of security they have with the lights on this time. And the weird thing is, Wellinga doesn't seem to be damaged at all after that crash, with a little bit in the front wing. Yeah, nice livery there by Wellinga. there we are. With Nuoff just 1.5 seconds behind Jensen, trying to keep up. Nuoff was surprised by Jensen's entry 2 weeks ago at Okayama. Couldn't keep up with Jensen at all. This time is more prepared. At least it seems, though he is losing a little bit on the mountaintop. Maybe tries to play it safe a little bit. Started from the pits in race 1. So he probably won't want to risk it all at the moment. He's still leading the standings, so that's where he'll want to keep staying. And I heard a crashing sound, but I don't think anyone did anything weird there, but oh well. And we can see Kenji Nuoff with a new helmet livery this time. Usually prefers his Sebastian Vettel helmet, but has a special one made for him. Matching the livery of his car. Looks very good. And Van Eekhoven trying to keep up with the two leaders. And we'll have a lap around the circuit with Salima in his pink purple Renault. And we aborted because Van Eekhoven has reached Nuoff, and we can see him here passing Nuoff as well. Maybe Nuoff has made a little mistake somewhere, might have cost him too much of time. Let's see if he's damaged on his car. Yes, we can see a rear wing damage there. That's very unfortunate. While we see Nuoff getting around the outside by Van Eekhoven, trying to get around back for his position in P2. But won't you see Van Eekhoven too quick on the mountaintop. Let's see if the two drivers can make it together off the mountain as well. That'll be more challenging probably. There he is, Nuoff following Van Eekhoven. Ooh, they're risking a lot there. Running a little bit wide. Oh, Van Eekhoven hits the wall. Van Eekhoven hits the wall and Nuoff is back in P2. That's very unfortunate. Can Van Eekhoven resume his race? No, he's towing himself back to pits. There he is, and that's very unfortunate for the young Belgian. That will mean he won't get a podium finish probably, because he will fall back a lap with the two leaders running an awesome pace, while Tigelaar isn't that far behind, just 20 seconds behind the leader. And Sodima is doing fine as well for now. Ooh! And we see Eekhoven, sorry, excuse me, that's Hobson. Hobson, who had regained the track, or rejoined the race, has crashed off in the descent again. That's not very good. Tigelaar will have to stay out of trouble here with Hobson. There, Tigelaar is still running around with that broken front wing, doesn't choose to get it repaired. And even Venega, we can see here, has some significant damage to his car. Nobody is getting around here safely around the track. I see even... No, Nuoff is clear. Excuse me, Tigelaar is clear of his damages. And Nuoff elects to drive on probably. Solo here is probably getting lapped here by the leader, being Janssen. Here we are with Alex Janssen on top of the mountain at Bathurst. While we were following Janssen, we see that Nuoff is getting very pressured by Tigelaar, who's just less than a second behind him. Must have been something awfully wrong there. On board with Tigelaar following Kenzie Nuoff. And the graphic is showing that Nuaf has lost 2 places, but we can't see him anywhere. So must have happened somewhere. Something must have happened somewhere. It's very unclear at the moment. Yes, he's 6 seconds there behind Sodima. We can see it now. Sodima in the distance. There he is. Hobson making room. Has totaled his car, so it seems. His suspension is hanging a bit off. And a podium finish here would be the best result Sonima's ever had here in the Formula Renault Sprint Series. So we'll see if he can keep up the pace or that Nuaf will let him surrender it. He is getting a little bit closer to Tigelaar, so he might just switch places with Tigelaar, and then Nuaf overtakes them both. Anything can happen here at Mount Panorama. We've seen it happen before. And not even Alex Johnson is totally safe. He could smash into a wall somewhere as well. We hope he doesn't. Well, Hobson has gone back into the pits. Oh, and it's a slip there, babe. Sorry, man. Let's see if Nuaf can get around him. Has gotten very close now. Has worked it back 2 seconds thanks to that error made by Sodima into the descent. And this is probably going to be an easy overtake. Following into the draft of the car in front of him, Nuaf will probably be attacking Sodima right here on the right side. Will we have the inside here in the right hand bender? Followed by the chicane coming up. It's a very good move there by Nuaf. And Sodima has to keep his cool for the rest of the race if he wants to try to get back to Nuaf and Tigelaar. And Nuaf seems to pull away a little bit here. Obviously being the faster driver, in theory should be even quicker than Tigelaar, even though he has a damaged rear wing. We've seen Jensen being very capable of lapping around Mount Panorama in a very quick fashion. But time is starting to run out, because the race is going to be 11 laps long. We've completed 6 already. Oh! And Nuaf is at the wall, the same way as S.R.O.C did, if I remember correctly, earlier. And Sodima regains P3 by that crash. And Nuaf has gotten back to the pits. He's towing himself back to the pits. That's probably a totaled car for him as well. That's very unfortunate for Nuaf, who might be looking to the standings first thing he does when he gets back to the pits. If he's going to lose a lot of time there, for a lot of points I should say. But that's not very good done, not very well. It's the first time Nuaf won't have scored a podium this whole league, and it's round 4 now. These 2 races at Mount Panorama will be the last of 2018. championship will resume in January of the year 2019, of course, due to the holidays, Christmas, New Year's Eve. The GT3 Sprint Series will also resume back in January, so that all the drivers can join their families and friends for the holidays. And again on board with Alex Jensen in his 8th lap of the race. And we're back with an overhead view of S.R.O.C's position following Damon Stegelaar, who's driving in second. The drivers are 3 seconds removed from each other after S.R.O.C's spin earlier. Stegelaar is in 4th, is almost a minute behind these guys. A minute equals half a lap almost, a little bit less. And here we can see how pretty the view gets. This is the path to get on top of the mountain. Here you can see the differences. Damon Stegelaar not far. And here's the part where we might lose the drivers here. That's behind the trees. Tree line making it difficult to follow the drivers constantly. Oh, and Stegelaar makes a little mistake there. Stegelaar will be glad to know he'll have some breathing room with that mistake made by S.R.O.C again. S.R.O.C seems to have a lot of troubles the last few laps. Might have used up his tires too much. But Stegelaar won't mind that. He just continues on pacing on that 2nd place. And after having seen the first race here at Bathurst, I'm a little bit surprised as to see that there's only going to be 4 drivers actually finishing the race. At least that's how it's going to look like. And these guys will be glad to call it a day after this one. faced and challenged the walls here at Mount Panorama in race 1, even in the darkness, for a few laps, which made it very difficult for the drivers. Qualifying in total darkness was very hard on them as well. We have seen a very strange grid up in the first race. It's unfortunate Hoogendijk couldn't maximize his starting position in this race. And also Van Eekhoven won't be very happy with his performance here at Bathurst. Didn't manage to score a lot of points, unfortunately. And dat Tigelaar, still remarkable how he's pacing on with a lot of reduced downforce at the front with that broken front wing. We would have also loved to see the battle maybe between Newhoff and Jensen if Newhoff wouldn't have made those critical mistakes. The last hit proved to be fatal for him. But the drivers will be happy to get off the mountain after this race. And meanwhile, now that we're following Ad Tigelaar, Jensen is right behind him, is in his final lap. And here it is, the few last corners for Alex Jensen. As only last corner, the 90-degree left-hander to face before we can crown him winner a 4th time in a row since joining. He's letting Ad Tigelaar pass to finish his last lap, and he stops and makes a donut in for the finish line with 45 seconds of an advantage on Tigelaar. He can do that. It's probably gonna wait for him as well. Nice burnout there by Alex Jensen. Very happy to finish these races, let alone on the front. Reverses it. Let's see where Tigelaar. Oh, Tigelaar is already coming, by the way. So Alex Jensen needs to get a move on to finish first. And there we have Alex Jensen finishing in first, with Tigelaar in second. And while the graphic has gotten it wrong, we can make it official that Alex Jensen has won the race. Tigelaar has finished in second. Solomon has finished in third. Tigelaar is finishing his lap on top of the mountain, descending right now. So only 4 drivers will finish here at Mount Panorama in Bathurst, Australia. And with the holidays coming along, we of S.R.O.C Racing wish you all a happy holidays and a happy new year. We will be back in January with both round 5 of the GT3 and the Formula Renault Sprint Series. We thank you for having watched us today. And again, we wish you a happy holidays. Bye bye and thank you for watching.